Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Black Family Business Show. I'm your host, Malcolm. Thank you guys for joining me. It is 2024. Happy New Year to you and your loved ones and your family. And hope you guys have amazing goals that you want to accomplish this year, because that's what this video is about. How to really accomplish your goals in 2024. It's week 2 of the new year, and now was when people start to get a little shaky, a little shaky with their goals, and they start to, negotiate with themselves, and how, one day off, one day not in the gym won't hurt, or one day off the diet isn't gonna do it. One cookie isn't gonna break my diet. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's how people fall off, right? So before we even get started, I want to give a special invite to anybody who wants to start their own online business with their family. I have a free suite of courses available to you, and a free training that is completely free. All you have to do is hit the link below, or visit blackfamilybiz.com/income. That's blackfamilybiz.com/income. All right, so let's get into it. So, like I said, it is week 2 of the new year, and around this time, people, their willpower, their hypeness for, the new year, all of that starts to kind of wear off. It gets, they don't have the same drive and the same fire like they did when, the year was ending, 2023 was ending, right? So how do you really go after your goals this year? I'm sure you've seen a lot of different videos on it from a lot of different people, and all those videos are great. They give, the technical stuff on, what kind of journal you need to use, what kind of books you should read, and stuff like that. But what I'm going to go into is the human being aspect of it, right? And why do I say the human being aspect? Because we're not robots, right? So a lot of time you see people on the computer screen or on a podcast, and they've already done some really amazing things, and they kind of forget what they had to do, what they had to overcome to achieve what it is that they wanted, right? So I'm trying to, I am, because I'm still on my journey. I feel like it's easier for me to talk about these things because I'm going through it. Like I'm running a business now with my family. I'm not just talking about it. I'm actually doing it. So these goals that I have are real goals, and the way I'm trying to go about it is actually how I'm trying to go about it. It's not just theory, right? So the first thing I tell people, if they're trying to go after their goals, the first thing I would tell somebody, and the first thing I had to tell myself, was to be the person. Now, what does that mean, Malcolm? That means if you are trying to write a book, that means write. That means become a writer, write. That means if you want to become a podcaster, record something. That means you want to be in shape, be in shape. That means eat what follow a strict diet. That means go to the gym, don't miss workouts. Identify as somebody who is that thing, because that is you're more likely to do that thing, right? So great book I will point to is Atomic Habits by James Clear, I believe is his name, and he talked about how identifying as something, you're more likely to do the tasks and the habits that are more aligned with that identity, right? So last year, I was really, really down on myself, really, really frustrated because I can get impatient. And I said I wanted to be a business coach. I wanted to help people directly with their businesses, with their family businesses, whatever it is that they're trying to do, right? So instead of, and again, I had it in my head that, okay, once this happens, then I can do that. Once I get this going, then I'll be a coach. Instead of being the coach, I've been doing online business with my family for the past 7 years, almost 8 years now. And I have a wealth of knowledge that I know that I just had to be confident in. And I'm just like, why am I not just coaching, right? I have a YouTube channel already. I have a podcast already. I have websites already. I have an email list of people who are interested in business. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to be a coach. I'm just going to coach. Free of, if it's free or paid, I'm just going to be a coach, right? And the reason why I got to that point is because I had to take, a look at myself, and the way my schedule was set up last year. Even if I wanted to have these clients, I didn't have time to serve them, right? So I had to make time. I had to clear out my entire schedule to make time for clients that I didn't even have yet, but I had to make sure I did it because I had to become what I wanted to attract, right? So if I wanted to attract clients, I need time for them. So I set out some time, even if I didn't have any clients yet, so I could serve somebody. And what I did was I emailed my email list. I said, hey, free Q&A, free business Q&A. If you want, your questions answered, I'll be live. Join me, right? I sent it out the day before, email blast the day before. The next day, 5, maybe 6 people, maybe 7 came in, asked a question, and then left. But I looked at it as this is a start, right? These 7 people had a question and they trusted me to answer that for them. So I looked at that as, a start, step 1 on what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go. So my advice to you is to be what you are trying to become, what you're trying to achieve. Be that already. Figure out what you need to do. If you need to clear out your schedule to make time for this imaginary thing that you wanted to have, but you have to create a space for that first. Right now, that might not be conventional, but I think it'll do more for for the change in identity that you need to have to see some real change. So the next thing I would tell somebody to do is to take all their specific goals that they have and try to break it down into specific actions that they need to take to achieve it. Right? So again, for this podcast, I want to make sure that this podcast gets 10,000 downloads this year. Let's just say, right? What would that mean? That means that every week I have to make sure I have at least 2 to 3 topics that I'm ready to talk about. That means I need notes that I'm ready to talk about. That means that I have to email my list, when new episodes drop. So what are the specific tasks that you need to take, right? If you are a writer, how many days a week are you planning to write, and actually write those specific times of the day or those specific times of the week? Because with people, a lot of people, and me included, when you have these lofty goals, we tend to discount how much work it actually takes to do those things. You don't just step out, record a podcast, and it's 10,000 downloads a month or something like that. And, for some people, maybe. But for the average person who is just starting out, you are going to need to go through that fire, go through that process. So break the larger goal down into small bite-sized pieces, and then you'll start to see some traction. And it might not be in a day, it might not be in a week, it might not be in 2 weeks, it might not be in a month, it might not be into 3 months in until you start to see some actual traction. So we're 2 weeks into the year, and the people who had a gym goal, right? They wanted to lose 25 pounds. They probably now looking, in the mirror, looking up their shirt to try to find some abs, and they see it's not there, because the gym doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. Business doesn't work like that, right? Nothing worth achieving works like that. So what you have to do is figure out how much, what the tasks are to achieve that one thing that it is, and figure out how much you're going to need to do to actually see some results. Another thing I will add to this is figure out what your personal threshold is. Now, what does that mean? So a lot of people, I'm going back to the gym reference, a lot of people, when they start going to the gym, they go 2-3 weeks, they go a month, and if they don't see any results, they kind of stop, they kind of fall off. Or in the opposite, somebody goes, hey, have you been in the gym? And then they go, oh, snap. Yeah, and then they feel like, well, I made it. I'm good. I can fall off. Figure out what your personal threshold is, and then go 5 times further than that. And then you'll start to see some real stable change, change that can last, not just change that you'll fall off right after. Like what if it's a new diet, if it's, a new business venture, whatever it is, figure out what that is for you and see if you can go 5 times further than that. All right. So this next thing, my dad always asks me and my stepmom when we have a new goal, right? As a business, as a family business, he always asks me this: what are you gonna give up? And he is talking about a personal sacrifice. What personal sacrifice are you gonna make for the collective of this actual goal? So we all have things about us that if we gave up, that we'll be further along. That could be junk food. If you eat junk food, that could mean binge watching TV. That could mean mindlessly scrolling on social media. That's my thing. I just Like it's so it's a brain dead, function at this point. Like if I get a quiet moment and just a split second to myself, I open my phone, go through the social media apps. When if I'm being honest with myself, if I don't do that, I have a lot more time and a lot more mental capacity to focus on what needs to get done throughout the day, throughout the week, and throughout the month, so goals can actually get met, deadlines can actually get met, right? So what are you going to give up? Figure that out for yourself. I can't tell you what that is. I don't know you. So figure out what that is for yourself and make that sacrifice for the greater good of your goal if you actually want to hit it. You know what I mean? So lastly, this might sound a little odd, right? But change your personal algorithm, right? We all have our routines, again, that and habits that we do that are just, it can be mindless. Like we just do it without thinking. We take this specific way to work all the time. We get this bagel after, in the morning before work all the time. We watch this thing all the time. Every time we get stressed, we do this thing. Whatever it is our routines are, we need to figure out how to break it, because up until this point, if you're not where you want to be, everything that you're doing is not working. So you need to figure out a way to change your personal algorithm so it is more in line on what it is that you want to achieve. My schedule and my routine has been the same for the last 2 years, and I'm wondering why I'm not seeing any growth, because I'm doing the exact same thing. So doing the exact same things and expecting different results is a form of insanity, and we all have it. We all go through it. We all do it. So this is my challenge to you, is to change up your personal algorithm somehow. Throw a blip in the matrix so your world, you'll start to see things a little bit different. If you take this different way of work, an idea of, a new book idea might, might hit you or something to that effect. It might not. But you need to change something to get some type of different results. These foods that you're eating is making your back big. You know what I'm saying? So stop eating those foods if you want to get in shape, right? These shows that you're watching are wasting your time. Turn it off and actually go be productive some other way. So change up your personal algorithm. Be the person that you're trying to become. You have to become that already. You can't strive to do that. You have to be that already. If you want to be a hyper focused, hyper growth oriented person, be that now. Read those books now and things like that. Do that now. Figure out what tasks that you need to complete and do those tasks every day until it is ingrained in you. And I don't want to get people confused. That has nothing to do with the personal algorithm, because this and those tasks that you take to achieve that goal, that might become your personal algorithm, and then sooner or later you're gonna have to change that as well when you get to that next level. So I'm not trying to confuse people here. All right, so you have to, and then what are you gonna sacrifice? What are you gonna sacrifice to create new space for what it is that you want? Create new space to be able to achieve these things. Okay, so that is my list on how to really attack your goals in 2024. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want me to, if you have something that you want me to discuss on this show, let me know in the comments. I'm going to be far more consistent with this show, because that's something I had on my goal list for 2024. I want this to be as big as the podcast that I do with my dad, because I feel like a lot of people, I've been speaking to a lot of people who have goals on starting businesses with their families, and there is no real direction to them. And I kind of want to show my journey, because I'm actually doing it, and I want to share the knowledge that I actually have as well. So that is it for this episode. Like I said at the top of the show, if you want access to some free courses on, from online family business, and you want a free training, visit blackfamilybiz.com/income. That's blackfamilybiz.com/income. It's completely free. And I'd start a new year, get your family and everybody in it with you, so you guys can, achieve something together, because that's what this is about anyway. All right, peace.